My wife belongs to another man." It was a typical American middle-class story. Guy goes to college, meets a girl, falls in love, girl reciprocates, they graduate, get married, and start a new life together. Of course, the story wasn't exactly typical. They're never typical. Because the girl the guy fell in love with had a reputation. Yvonne, who was called Yvonne or Vonnie by her friends, although she wasn't a round-heeled cheater, still had a tendency to have sex with everyone she met. It usually didn't get to the fourth or fifth date, but if you got that far, you were a favorite for sex. What made Vonnie different from most girls on campus was that she dated almost exclusively black men, especially basketball players. That fact alone made our life together an amazing experience. I first saw Vonnie at a frat party, and for me, it was love at first sight. That night, I couldn't take my eyes off of her as she walked around the fraternity. I asked a few people about her, and soon I had a whole story about her. And since I was a white guy, I resigned myself to the fact that I was going to lose the woman of my dreams before I even met her. So I was shocked when an hour after I arrived at the party, Vonnie came up to me, introduced herself, and said, "I noticed you've been watching me. Maybe I have a zit on my neck or some other weird thing that's getting your attention." I was surprised at her bluntness and decided I should at least try to keep my cool. "No, it's just that for a while I thought the woman of my dreams had arrived." "So you were and then you weren't?" "No, you still are, but I'm a realist. I've been asking around about you and found out that I'm missing something that I need to get on your dance card." "You mean black? You don't think you have a chance because you're a white guy?" I shrugged, which pretty much gave her an answer. "Well, I guess I should tell you that's true about black guys, but I'm not racist and I've dated white guys on occasion. I'd be especially interested in dating someone who made my heart flutter the first time I laid eyes on him. And here I thought I was the only romantic here and the only guy in town who believes in the possibility of love at first sight." "Wow, sweetie. I didn't say anything about love at first sight. I just know there's attraction." "I'll take what I can get." "All you'll get tonight, white boy, is a phone number. I'm here with a date, and my rule is to always leave with the person who brought me." She handed me her phone number and went back to the party. I called Vonnie the next day and made dinner arrangements with her for that evening. From then on, we were inseparable. At the end of our sixth date, Vonnie asked, "Am I scaring you?" "No, I don't think so. Why?" "You've been asking around about me, so I know you're aware that I'm not single, and yet we're at the end of our sixth date and you haven't even tried to feel my breasts. The so-called woman of your dreams doesn't turn you on?" I was silent for a moment, and then I said, "You've been pretty candid with me about your past, so I think I can be honest with you about that. Yes, I am afraid, but not of you, but of me trying to have sex with you." "Good God, honey, why?" "I'm afraid of finding out that I'm not a match, that you'll be disappointed, and that we'll never see each other again." "I don't understand." "You know what they say about blacks and their size." I don't know what I was expecting from Vonnie, but it certainly wasn't the belly-ripping laugh I got. When she finally pulled herself together, she said, "That's it? You're afraid to have sex with the woman of your dreams because she was the mistress of a nigger on campus? And any white girl who gives herself to niggers only does it because they have huge dignity? Is that it?" She realized from the look on my face that it was, and continued, "Let me tell you something, honey. There are many reasons why a white girl gives herself to niggers. In my case, it was spite. My daddy hates niggers passionately, and I despise my daddy, so I have sex with niggers and make sure he knows it. My Aunt Clara works in the English department, and she is a direct conduit to my daddy. I've been dating black basketball players because the little white me next to the tall blacks attracts attention, and I make sure to do it in front of Aunt Clara. I have sex with him, and I do it for the sole purpose of getting the news to good old daddy. But back to the point. I've dated and slept with over 25 niggers, and only 2 of them had what you'd call big dignity. The rest were no bigger than all the white guys who managed to get me in bed. If I had to bet, I'd wager that a random sample of 25 white men would have the same proportions. She paused and looked at me. Why are you looking at me like that? I see a different you. All this talk about your life has set me back. That was the purpose, honey, to get your attention. I don't understand. I want to convey to you the fact that I have baggage. If you want me, you need to know what you're getting into. I don't have a single prejudice bone in my body, but by using the term nigger, I'm showing you that the term nigger lover will hang around my neck for the rest of my life, and if you're with me, you'll hear it. 20 years from now, you'll hear someone say, "Him? Didn't he marry that cheating, nigger-loving, what was her name, Yvonne?" You have to know about it and know how to deal with it. You don't even have to wait 20 years. I bet it's happening right now. You think you can make it to graduation without punching some guy when you hear him call me a nigger lover or ask why you're wasting your time on a cheating, nigger-loving girl? I don't know. Then you better start thinking about it, because if you stay with me, you're going to have to face that fact of life sooner or later. There was silence for a few moments, and then Vonnie said, "It doesn't look like you'll ever make the first move, so I guess I'll have to be a cheeky cheater." And her hands went to my zipper. Vonnie hit the mark. Everything she said came true. I heard comments and snide remarks, and all my friends wanted to know why I was so stupid to waste my time on a fool like Vonnie. Some even said that if a white woman sleeps with a black man, she will always go back to him. I knew better and kept my cool, smiled, and let their comments pass my ears. The only serious annoyance with my relationship with Vonnie came from a couple players on the basketball team. They cornered me one night as I was leaving the drugstore, and one of them said, "Just a friendly warning. You're messing around with what we consider your personal property, and we don't like it very much." He then started poking me in the chest with a big blunt finger, saying, "You're going to leave our girl alone." And his words were silenced when I kicked him hard in the balls with my knee. As he sank to his knees, I turned to his buddy and said, "If she was yours, she'd be with you. Now get your ass and leave, or give it to me." He looked at me and smiled. Well, at least she didn't pick a wuss, and helped his buddy up, and they withdrew. I never told Vonnie about the incident because with her temper, only God could predict what she might do. Vonnie and I finished school, got jobs, got married, and moved on with our lives. Vonnie went into advertising, and I went to work for an electronics firm in the engineering department. The years flew by, and life was good. We had a great group of friends, consisting of people we went to school with and neighbors who lived around us. We rarely saw each other's co-workers because of scheduling conflicts. Her company would throw a cocktail party, and I couldn't attend for one reason or another, and the same thing would happen to her when my company had some sort of social event. One year, both companies had Christmas parties on the same night and at different ends of town. I offered to go to her company's Christmas party and then go to mine, or vice versa, but Vonnie was applying for a promotion and felt she needed to be at her company all the time. I understood what she was getting at because for purely internal political reasons I needed to be seen at her place, so I couldn't skip it and go to hers. Thus, we never socialized with the people we worked with. So when I showed up to one of my co-workers' promotion party one night with Vonnie by my arm, she attracted quite a bit of attention. About an hour after the party started, Bill approached me. While I wouldn't call Bill my best friend, we were kind of buddies. We ate lunch together a couple times a week, occasionally stopped in for a drink after work, and played golf together a couple times a month. "You're an old dog. I always knew there was more to you than you let on, but I never suspected you had a kinky side. God, she's gorgeous. Knowing her preferences, I doubt she'll let me try it, but maybe she'll autograph one of her pictures for me. Let's go get one." Having no idea what he was talking about, but curious as to what he thought he knew about me, about my kinky side, I followed him. We went into his office, and I watched as he turned on his computer and logged on to the internet. Once logged in, he clicked on Favorites, selected something called Red Clouds, and then did the steps to access the site. He selected something called Archives, went through a few more menus, and finally selected something called Black Fool Who Loves Men. Next came 10 pictures, and the first one cut through my heart like a knife. It showed Vani standing there, smiling at the camera while a black man had sex with her. The next 9 pictures did the same thing. I was staring at the screen in utter bewilderment when I heard Bill ask, "Do you think she'll give me an autograph?" "Pick the one you want and let's go ask her." Vani was talking to my boss when Bill and I got back from his office, so we grabbed fresh drinks and waited until she was free. I approached her along with Bill, introduced them, and said, "Bill said he'd like to have sex with you, but knowing your preferences, he doubts you'll give him any. So he asked if you could at least autograph one of your pictures for him." And I handed her the picture he had chosen. The expression on Vani's face didn't change when she looked at the picture. She looked at me and asked, "Do you have a pen?" Bill pulled out a pen and she signed the photo. "To Bill from Yvonne, aka the Black Cheater." Handing the photo back to Bill, she said, "I take it as a great compliment that you want to try it. Maybe hubby will take you home with him sometime. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the ladies' room." As she was leaving, Bill asked, "Is she serious about you bringing me home?" "Who knows? Vani is full of surprises, as I'm constantly convinced." I was sitting on the edge of the table, sipping my drink, when Vani returned. Before she could speak, I asked, "What are you doing here? Isn't this what you'd rather be doing?" And pointed across the room to Calvin, our VP of sales. "He's big, black, and plays basketball for the Duke team." She looked at him. "Does he have a big dignity?" "How would I know?" "Well, honey, if you're going to send me to him, you're going to need information. That's exactly what this is about." "So you already know Bill has a big dignity? Is that why you so nonchalantly said I should bring him home one night?" "No. I said it for your benefit. If you think my concern for him will buy his silence, I will. If he knows my body is a reward for not blabbing about his find, I'll have sex with him to death. On the other hand, if you don't care, don't bother bringing him." "How long has this been going on?" "Never stopped." "You mean—" "Yes, that's exactly what I mean. I met you, fell in love with you, but I never stopped having sex with Ronnie." "Ronnie? Who's Ronnie?" "No, do you remember the night I asked you why you didn't try to get in my pants?" I nodded affirmatively. "I told you that night that only 2 of the 25 or so Negroes I'd slept with had great assets, and Ronnie was one of those 2. I'm so addicted to it that I sometimes do stupid things to make sure I have it. Stupid things like letting him take pictures of me. I didn't know he'd put them on the net, but even if I had, I probably wouldn't have minded unless it cost me his body." "Do you do whatever he wants you to do?" "Usually." "And if he decided to give you to his friends, would you do it?" "Yes. And yes, I did." "Why didn't you just stay with him?" "Because I'm not in love with him. I'm in love with his body, not him. Ronnie is an obnoxious asshole, but his dignity can do things to me that I just can't refuse. You're great in bed, darling. You're a marvelous lover, and you never fail to ring my chimes, but there are places in me that you can't reach. Places that make me see stars and hear bells ringing when they're touched." I shook my head in disgust and said, "My wife belongs to a black man." "He doesn't own my heart, baby. It only belongs to you." "So you're like on loan from me?" "I get you when he or his friends don't need you." "No, honey, I'm yours. I married you because I love you and I want to be with you. Yes, Ronnie can make me do things to keep getting his body, but he doesn't own me. There are things he can't make me do. He wants me to leave you and live with him, but I don't want to. He wants me to get pregnant, but I won't let him. He wants me to go away with him for the weekend, and I refuse because I want to be with you. Don't get me wrong, honey. I love his body, and I'll do anything to keep getting it. But the choice was never between Ronnie and you. If I ever have to make that choice, Ronnie will be a thing of the past. I'm yours, and I'll always be yours." "Too bad I'll never know that." "Never know what?" what your choice would really be. I'll never know, because you'll never get the chance to make it. I reached into my wallet, took out 2 20s, and held it out to her. What's this? The cab fare to take you home. I'm going home and packing. You can stay here, find Bill and try, or talk to Calvin and try to figure out the size of his dignity, whatever. I'll try to leave when you get here. I saw the alarm on her face when she said, No, no, honey, it doesn't have to be like that. Ronnie is gone. I swear on my heart, honey, I'll never see him or talk to him again. He's not worth losing you to him. Yes, it should be, Yvonne. The news about you and Ronnie is bad enough as it is, but when you say that he can make you have sex and you think nothing of it, it just makes my stomach churn. The fact that you care so little for me and our marriage disgusts me. Look on the bright side, Yvonne. Now you can move in with him, go away with him on weekends, and best of all, have black babies with him. Just think how good you'll feel when you let your daddy know you're raising a new crop of blacks that he'll hate. Don't be in a hurry to come home. It'll be better if you make sure I'm gone before you get here. I don't have the energy for that kind of talk anymore, and I walked out leaving her there. The end! Subscribe to my channel. Thank you.